Hello, wonderful souls. Let me ask you, are you resonating with a low vibe of not being worthy, not good enough, lacking self-confidence? It's because of what you've experienced and now you believe it to be true? I've been there and done that. Totally, right? Hi, I'm Lisa and welcome to my show. We're here for the human experience, where I help people shift their beliefs, perceptions, and energetic patterns. So what energetic patterns are holding you back, right? Is it self-confidence? Not feeling like you've done enough? It's our vibe that creates that pattern. It's our vibe. But it's also based on people and society and how we've been raised and all of those fun things about being on this planet. Absolutely. So self-confidence. So if we're vibing with a low self-confidence, our vibe has to change. And that awareness comes by other people pushing our buttons. It is about the awareness. It's for us to recognize the energy we are vibing at and to change it so it no longer pushes our buttons. So if people are pushing our buttons, and I'm just going to use that for an example, if people are pushing our buttons, that just means that it's time for us to take a look at that and that awareness and that vibe that's going on for us. So if I feel lack of confidence in an aspect of my life, it doesn't mean I feel self-confidence or lack of confidence in all parts of my life. It just means that it's a part of my life, right? In some areas of my life, I don't feel as confident as in other areas of my life. So in those areas, I want to recognize that and I want to shift that vibe, also the belief pattern around that feeling. So people will help us do that. Just like I help people do that, right? Come to their awareness, right? We're all here about the co-creating and helping each other. And sometimes it doesn't feel like help, right? And sometimes it isn't. But, it's about discerning and checking in with yourself. It's always about discerning and checking in with yourself. So when we can change how we believe and feel about ourselves, we will no longer have that energy in that aspect of low self-esteem. The energy changes. So when I recognize that I'm vibing in that, like a lack of self-confidence in a particular area of my life, once I recognize that and I can acknowledge it, then it's brought it to light. Then it helps me to shift my energy because all of a sudden now I know what it is. I know that I have this, this experience and this, as we'll say, that people are pushing our buttons, or I've pushed my own buttons, right? Because we do that too, right? So it's about learning that and shifting and understanding and bringing that information to light so that we can change it, or at least now we know that there it is, right? Here's another example, the I am not good enough vibe. I'm not enough. I'm not tall enough, short enough, small enough, smart enough, just enough of what, right? And so we all have that vibe, not in all aspects of our life, but in parts of our life. So it's those parts that we stumble with, or we wonder why that keeps happening. It's because our vibe still feels that. So we want to check that, right? So I'm not enough vibe. Nothing was ever good enough. That's probably, I picked that up in childhood and throughout my life, right? Life is about the experiences, right? So that's what I picked up verbally and energetically. And that means that I vibe that energy today in that aspect of my life. It doesn't mean that it's the whole, like I said, it doesn't mean that it's all of my life. Just isn't. So this means that I can, because now it's something that I vibed, it's something that I'm aware of, I can actually change it. Right? So this means I can change that energy or that vibe and believe that I am good enough and that I matter. It's about recognizing that. Logically, we might probably know that, but energetically, we now have to feel that as well. And so when we can energetically feel that, that's when really life really starts to shift. So if I'm feeling I'm not enough and I'm in a situation where other people are exhibiting that I'm not enough, and then I go home thinking or whatever, or even there, thinking that I'm not enough and why does this always keep happening to me? That's for me to discern and go, this is my job. I need to actually figure out why I feel like I'm not enough in that situation. What about it is for me, right? Other people's opinions. I like other people's opinions. I appreciate other people's opinions. Sometimes they kind of pinch, but we're here for that human experience. And so with other people's opinions, it helps us grow and learn about our vibrational patterns as long as we're willing to check in, right? And help ourselves. So we have the knowledge to change how we think and how we feel, which changes our external and our internal world. The more that we check in with ourselves, understand that, and other people's opinions is okay. It's all in how we're taking it in. Because we have a choice, right? So if my belief in self-confidence, we're not worthy enough, not enough, has an energy pattern that goes out. So our vibe goes out. We feel it. We do this all the time. Most of us don't even know we're doing that. We're picking up other people's vibes and we're putting out our own vibe of confidence or lack of confidence. And depending on where we are in our situations, it might be confidence at this time and it might be lack of confidence on this other time, right? So it's about discerning for ourselves, checking in with our emotions, checking in with our thoughts, and what kind of vibe do we want to put out, right? So it's an energy pattern that goes out into the world. It arrives before my even body kind of arrives, right? If I'm putting that vibe out there, then chances are totally it is ahead of me, which others pick up and then they act according. So if I'm not feeling confident, chances are that other people are going to be showing me where I don't feel confident. It's my internal belief and my energy about it. So people are going to show me, or situations are going to show me where I'm not feeling confident. And that's our guides. That's our, intuition giving us that information. And it's showing us where we can make improvements if we choose to, right? Life is still about all the choices, right? So our belief about ourselves will dictate how others treat us and how we treat ourselves. So if I'm not confident, or I think that I'm not enough, then that energy that I vibe goes out into the world and other people will pick that up, and then they will show me, situations and people will show me that I definitely am not enough in that situation. It is, just on today's live, it's a very short snippet of this information. It is such a big topic, but also very simple to just understand how our vibe just gets out there. And we know this, innately we know this, right? So our beliefs about ourselves dictate how others treat us and how we treat ourselves. And that's leading to an external and internal vibe of not having enough self-confidence and many other things as well in our lives. So what you vibe puts out there. So if I'm feeling not confident, then chances are other people are going to feel that I'm not confident, and they're going to show me ways that make me feel more or less confident. They don't do that knowingly. It's all about the vibe. It's all about the vibe. So here's another example. So suppose we fear being alone and feel that we aren't good enough. And I actually had somebody talk to me about this. Fear being alone, so we'll tolerate being with people who think that they aren't good enough. And in that case, we tolerate that atmosphere, the vibe, with people who show us that we aren't worthy and give us evidence because of our vibrational belief pattern. So if we're carrying a fear of not wanting to be alone, but we're tolerating being with people who aren't are exhibiting, are exhibiting that our energy of not enough, then are we just, so it's a funny vibe, right? So if we're in that with those people who think that we're not good enough because I'm exuding that feeling of, but I also don't want to be by myself, then I'm tolerating being with people who really don't make me feel like I'm enough or confident. So is it a fear of being alone, or where do I want to go with that, right? And in that conversation, I'd rather be with people who I vibe with more, right? Definitely want to be with people who I vibe with better, of course. But I'm also grateful for the ones that I don't, because they're actually still showing me what my vibrational patterns are. So it's like a big subject, but also simple concepts. Really, the point is to notice these uncomfortable beliefs and shift our vibe. Notice what's coming up. Notice how the vibe is. Notice what others are saying. Notice awareness of ourselves. So what also holds us back with these vibes is that we also make excuses for ourselves and others, which allows the vibe to keep repeating, right? A vibrational pattern of belief. We want others to change to make us feel better. Most people aren't going to change to make us feel better. They change because they want to feel better. I change because I want to feel better. This is how we do this, right? So, and we probably make these statements. Why is my life like this? Why can't I catch a break? Why do they treat me like that? This was a tough one to learn. It definitely was. It's because we're vibing in the energy of not worthy enough. We're vibing in that not worthy energy. So if we're saying those statements, that means there's a clue in that statement that is giving it to us to let us know where we're vibing, what our patterns of belief are, what we're feeling and thinking, right? It's about noticing ourselves, checking in with ourselves. So our energy and beliefs must change for us to change our lives and how the world treats us. So if it's all about the vibe, like I say, so it's about us noticing, right? And it's not others who need to change. It's our vibe that has to change. So it's our awareness, which changes our internal world and our external world. When we change our vibe, when we notice what's going on with ourselves, when we get our thoughts and our emotions together, that's when we can make changes, positive changes in our lives, or different changes in our lives, instead of running on the vibe of not worthy or not feeling confident. So these are some of the questions that I like to ask myself to shift my perception and to change my vibrational pattern. Hi, Amber. And I like to write things down. And so these are my questions that I will ask. So what aspects of, we'll use the example of I'm not good enough, bugs me? I want to write it down, and I want to, because when I write it down, I'm getting it out of my head. I can actually now see it on a piece of paper, and it gives me more clarity. So then the next question I want to ask myself, is it fact or opinion? Is it opinion of others? Is it opinion of myself? Is it something that I believe in, right? Do I believe that I'm not worthy? No, I actually don't believe that, right? I think we're all worthy, right? The next question I like to ask is, especially in the not worthy, not good enough, am I living up to others' expectations or my own? Right? I want to know if I'm living, because it's a good question. Is it others' expectations or is it mine? Right? And it's just about the discernment. It's about just getting to know yourself, right? Because we don't do that enough, right? The next question I will ask myself, do I want to change my vibrational pattern? Once I'm aware of it, do I want to change it? And really also bringing the awareness to what's bugging us actually already shifts the energy. It's really quite transformational in that. And when I write it down, I can say it out loud. I can see it with my eyes. When I say it, speak it, I can hear it. So it's already starting to transform. So ultimately, I need to decide if I want, like, what is my need, right? I feel like I'm not good enough. So what's bugging me? I want to discern what it is. What do I want? And I want to decide that I'm going to make these positive changes. And that is without any judgment, no criticism, only curiosity. Because I don't need to judge myself on these things. I don't. I'm asking myself these questions because I want to know what's going on. I want to know what my vibrational pattern is. What is my belief system around not feeling good enough or worthy enough, right? I want to be curious. I want to move into the observer state and ask myself these questions. I want to remember to breathe as well, because sometimes we get into that shallow breathing state. So I want to breathe. Take a nice deep breath, right? We get into that energy of fight, flight, or freeze, which also exudes outside of us. And I've talked about fight, flight, or freeze in other videos. So it always comes down to asking ourselves questions. So when we ask ourselves questions, we open doors to awareness and allow new thoughts and emotions to come through, which provides alternative ways of thinking for ourselves, feeling, bringing more clarity, more confidence, and feeling worthy and better emotional vibes. We have to ask ourselves the questions. Well, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? And be honest, right? Our mind will kind of get in there and kind of judge it. Don't let it happen. You are in control of your thoughts and emotions. So we came here for the human experience, and that means learning the vibrational belief patterns we feel stuck in, laughing and enjoying our life, and connecting to our inner wisdom to create a life with less stress and more ease. I, for one, enjoy less stress and more ease, right? I am thrilled to connect with you on this incredible journey of self-discovery. And thank you for letting me guide you through the labyrinth of transformative mindset shifts, emotional awareness, and the profound connection with our inner guides. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. If you want to hear, if you need any more information, you can connect with me through Messenger or through my website. And if today's episode resonates with you, please give it a like or a heart. And share your thoughts in the comments, and please share this post, which helps us navigate the magical world of algorithms so that we can reach more people, impacting more souls. You can check out my website, Lisa Hyde Life Coach, for my free download, Distinguishing Your Thoughts. So finding out if your thoughts are opinions or facts, or even other people's, right? Ask that. And join me next week as we navigate the matrix of our mind, body, and spirit connection. Bye, everyone. See ya.